My funny Valentine. My
Live in Rose. Da, da, da.
Win loves.
What is it? O is for the way you look at me.
O is for the way. Bitch, you can't spell. O is for the way you look at me.
What is O? You're the only one I see. V is cause you're very.
V is cause you're very
extraordinary. E is cause everything you do to me.
Cause E is even more.
I'm black. Happy Valentine's Day, y'all.
Happy Valentine's Day.
From us to you, and welcome to another episode
of
On
the
Curve.
Take your binz out. Did you take your binz out this past week?
Okay, I was thinking about this because, like, when we shoot the opening or whatever, I was like, the bins out front of my whatever are not chained up. And I'm like, if we get a shot of one of us taking the fucking bins out. Okay. Do you take your recycling out on recycling day? I don't know the logistics behind that.
I mean, so it's different because we're in New York, and like my trash and my recycling are always out on the curb.
Okay.
Like ours are chained up outside.
Okay.
But I will take my recycling down whenever my little bag gets full. But I have nothing. It's Adam. That's between God and the trash people if it actually gets taken out on recycling day.
Okay, because like I like break down my boxes, you know, like we have like one big recycling thing. Like the best thing being like top floor of my apartment complex is, you've seen it, but that little corner where it's just shit. So we just have this giant tub of recycling and all this stuff. I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad if I take my recycling out on Friday and I know the recycling day is Thursday, but also does it matter?
I didn't know that. That's Thursday?
It's the difference, or for us, me. Because the difference, going from living in like a 50-unit building where it was just Armageddon free for all every day of the week, to living in a cute little brownstone, it was like so weird.
Yeah.
I miss my buzzer.
I love my buzzer.
Oh my God. It's so annoying when people come to ring the packages and I have to be like, I'm coming down.
Yeah, and I have a door code, so I can just give people the door code, which is so nice.
I know. When you were like, I'm going to move, I was like, damn.
Eventually.
I was like, another door code.
We have to pick up where we left off.
EUSEXUA.
We went to the EUSEXUA rave.
Bitch, we had a time.
EUSEXUA is
3
now
nights
streaming.
ago. We had a time. I guess that was last week.
That was Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That was on a Sunday. That's hysterical.
It was the day before Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Wow.
/ Inauguration Day.
Girl, I watched a little bit of it. It was boring as hell.
I just saw the part where Carrie Underwood kind of flopped.
Oh my God, because they sabotaged her.
And rightly so.
And did.
And all the comments were like, she handled it so and this is coming from when Carrie Underwood and, what was it, Bo Dice were on American Idol.
Bo Dice!
When they were the finalists. And I was maybe like 5 years old. And it was the first season. I think that season of American Idol was the first time I was like sucked into competition TV.
Oh my God.
Where my sister and I made posters for the finale. And like would make our parents call in after the show. Like all
Bring
that.
back the early 2000s,
and
bro.
So I was a big Carrie Underwood fan. And I think my sister's poster said like, Bo rocks my socks. And mine said, Carrie is the dairy.
Oh,
because she was a farmer. And I was like, Carrie's. All I can say is, Jesus take the wheel. Like before he cheats, I was deep into that. So I can say with my full chest, because I've been a stan, fuck Carrie Underwood.
Wow. Yeah, you even did
fuck Carrie Underwood.
Jesus Take the Wheel at Chino Grande.
I did, and I'll do it again.
It was good.
It was a great
empty.
song. I did it to a room of 10 people.
Imagine it's so empty. You can hear like the bartender shaking ice, and you just see John take the wheel.
Oh my God.
But okay, yes, we went to the EUSEXUA rave.
We went to the EUSEXUA rave.
Fashion. Okay, FKA Twigs, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm just kidding. I love you so much. We're gonna get back to you. Fashion, the DJ, changed our life.
If you live in New York or ever see the name fashion pop up on a DJ list for a club, run, don't walk.
Yeah.
That was And I wasn't even like on anything crazy or like super drunk. And that was like the best DJ set I've ever seen.
She was professional. Like she really took it seriously. Like she had no one behind her booth. She had her little manager who was like nerdy and we think that they're dating because we're really cute. And then like she is just sitting there. She has her eyes on the board. Every once in a while she looks up and goes like, it's almost like she looked up and was like, oh, right.
Yeah, she's like, there are people here.
She's like, hey. And she'd be like, like what? Like she just served a fantasy and we ate it up. Front row, front of the line, blocking everyone.
I've never been in a DJ's direct line of sight for the entire set.
Me neither.
And she didn't look at me once. She didn't look at me once.
Look at us once. And then and honestly, shout out to Carlos because when we were like pre-gaming and you were like, oh, maybe we'll leave at 10:45. He goes, I'm kind of not playing.
Yeah.
And we left on time. We were in that line and we were front row. So
we were front row. And the line, let's talk about the line.
Yeah, you talk about the line.
Let's talk about one. They gender separated the line at the EUSEXUA rave. The bouncer said, girls over here, boys over here. And we all went, huh? Our friend who is non-binary was like, what line do I get? And the bouncer was like,
I do with that.
But y'all, so the women got in fast.
I did grab Carlos and I said, you're coming with me.
The men, like myself, the butch boys, were out in the cold. I witnessed, because we had tickets, and it was the kind of event where like the tickets sold out really fast.
Yeah.
And there was a line of people that were not ticketed, like waiting to see if they could get in. And when I was up next to get in the ticketed line, the segregated line,
wait in the water.
There was this white twink in yoga flare pants and a mid-crop black tank, no coat on. It's 20 degrees.
It's snowing, y'all.
It's 20 degrees. This very kind person lets them borrow their like leather jacket because they had
your friends who we met in line. That we were like, "Where's your friend?" Because they made people get out of line to smoke, but just get out of like just go over.
Yeah. But so this like bug-eyed twink, it like frigid cold, like bothering everyone. This really nice person offers their leather jacket, and then the person gets in the club, so it's like, "Can I have my jacket back? It's like important to me. It's my mom's. I don't want to lose it." And he goes, "Oh, like, is your mom like dead?" I'm sitting there in this line, literally looking around like, is anybody else hearing this? And then if this fucking bitch couldn't be more manic, when I'm next up to get my ticket, they're next up in the non-ticketed line, and the bouncer goes, "I'm so sorry, it's not happening tonight." Which I at the time thought he was saying like, there's no more tickets.
Yeah.
I think what he was saying is you're not wearing a coat.
Yeah.
Like you look fucked up.
How did he even know it was happening?
And the twink goes, "Are you sure?" And the bouncer goes, "Yeah, it's not happening tonight. There's not space." The twink goes, "What if I like do a little striptease and show some of my body parts for you?" And he does like a I know you're fucking lying. And the bouncer literally looks him dead in the eye and goes, "I'm sorry, it's not happening."
So you got a show in line.
I got a show in line. I did. Okay, so then we get to the club. Mm-hmm. You can see your breath.
We can see our breath.
Can see our breath on the dance floor.
It's fucking freezing. You know, Market Hotel is famous for like that window. Like, yeah, no insulation. That window might as well have been open.
The bartenders are wearing
coats,
puffer jackets,
and then because me and Carlos got in, and then so I got John a vodka soda, and I was holding it, and me and Carlos were like looking around walking around the venue, and I was like, "Carlos, we gotta find John, or I gotta set this down." Like my fingers were fucking freezing. But then we all got in.
Yeah, fashion was amazing.
Oh my god,
front and center for that DJ. I threw ass.
John threw ass. I got lost for a minute in the sauce.
We started reciting the "I Have a Dream" speech on the beat.
That hit though.
It was.
What was it?
I went because it was like, give me a beat, give me like a boom, boom. Cause all my brothers, cause all my sisters, cause all my brothers. No,
that shit. And in the moment, like in the crowd, hearing John's voice, I was like, this shit hits.
It was good.
And then FKA, we didn't know when she was supposed to come on. Didn't y'all think it was 1 a.m. or 2?
We thought it was 1 and she came at like 2:45.
Yeah, because also we got a text that was like, get there at 11 p.m. sharp. Yeah. Your ticket does not guarantee entry, which is like, that should be illegal.
Yeah.
But you and Missy were gonna walk out, yeah?
Yeah, we were like, we need to like freshen up, go to the bathroom, we've been dancing front and center for 2 hours. Like,
it was
we need
like
a break.
straight.
And then it was by that point a sauna.
Because we started dancing when it was kind of cold.
Yeah.
It was still kind of cold.
It was like empty and cold, and then it was packed.
Yeah.
And I got a brand new tattoo.
Ew. Yes.
And I'm getting hot and I'm nervous. I'm going to start sweating through my second skin. So I'm holding my tattoo up above the crowd, like being like, get the fuck away from me. Like, stop bumping me.
With your cunty little like army cover.
Yeah, I put like a little armband on it to make sure no one touched it.
Yeah. And so then we went to the back because then I had to pee and it just like hit me like a ton of bricks. And the person in front of me didn't have to pee. And they saw me about to pee myself, but they just went to go do drugs in like the single bathroom. That's fine.
Literally, there were 2 open urinals, and this person goes into the stall to stand up, piss, and do drugs, while Alexandra basically has urine streaking down her leg.
I'm telling John, I'm like, John, just like distract me or whatever, and then
when you're so bad you get knock knees,
girl, and I was like cold again all of a sudden. It was just like, but we say this because then FKA comes on like maybe 30 minutes later or something, and we're in like the very back, and the highlight of my fucking night.
We have to play the clip.
Oh my god, we do play the clip.
Insert the clip.
So the first highlight is that so the way Market Hotel is set up is that the bar is in the back and then like club and then stage, right? And so FKA is on stage, we're in the back. FKA comes out. This is what we've waited the whole night for, like 3 hours. And John goes, I think I'm gonna get a vodka Red Bull. Do you want one? I was like, what? John is at the empty bar getting a vodka Red Bull while FKA is like performing. Everyone's like crowd crushing to the front. That was highlight number 1.
I don't believe in celebrity.
I
don't believe in celebrity.
Highlight number 2 is when she performs Perfect Stranger, yeah?
Uh-huh.
And then we hear Drums of Death. And y'all, we have been watching the EUSEXUA Drums of Death like music video like at his place.
I've learned the choreo. Boom.
Like, so that first drum beat, bitch, we've been waiting for it, and we hear it.
No, tell the story right. The drum beat comes on. Alexander turns to me and goes, how would you dance to this? And I demonstrated. I said, hold it. It's me behind this black screen by myself, whipping my bald head.
while the vodka Red Bull is like static in his arm. Like, oh my god. And then say the phone thing. Not a phone in sight.
Okay. Not a phone in sight. Ooh, not a phone in sight. Okay, so when FK comes out, obviously, like, you can tell she's coming out because you start to see like phone flashlights come on in the crowd, almost like guiding her up to the front. And then the whole audience brought up their phones, and Alexander and I in the back living in the present moment,
living my life like it's golden, bitch.
Yeah. And so I make the remark and forget that our voices cut deep through my face.
The radiators.
And so I go, look at that, not a phone in sight. And the guy in front of me slowly lowers his phone and turns around. And I'm like, you can keep recording. I'm just acknowledging.
Oh my god, it was such a fun night. And then we like walked back in the winter storm to like get ramen.
Yeah.
And then me in my Roblox coat, I got with that picture.
That's the segue. That's the next segue. Take your binz. It was fun, but
it was good.
We had an interesting conversation last night. I think we should like rehash.
Yes.
On the same topic of this album, EUSEXUA.
Yes.
Because I think it's so interesting, especially now, like the domino effect that Brat is having on album cycles.
Yeah.
And we were debating last night, and I want to continue today, this idea that like the stance I'm making is I think EUSEXUA as a body of work is great. I think FKA Twigs as a person is pretentious and bad.
Okay.
And your take was?
And my take is that FKA Twigs is good, and the art is good, but she's kind of out of her lane with this one.
Like you thought EUSEXUA was just not.
Well, okay, so I'm not deep into like the Grimes, the Bjorks, and I like am kind of even relevant, like are relatively like new to FKA. Like I've never listened to like a full album of hers, except for this one. And so I'm not like the master of this. And even I was listening to EUSEXUA, and I was like, I think I've heard this before. Like because when I have listened to the FKA Twigs songs I have listened to over the years, when I heard, what was it, Palindrome? I do it for you.
Palindrome?
Isn't there one where it's called Palindrome or something?
No. Cellophane.
Okay, great. Cellophane. I don't know. But like, it sounds otherworldly. I've never heard this before. It's like, what is this freaky woman?
Oh, Glass and Patron.
Wait, what?
That's a different song. Not Palindrome. Glass and
there's
Patron.
Not an FKA Twigs. Whatever. I'm muddling I'm like messing up my argument. What I mean is that like when I think FKA Twigs, I think like weird freako music sung by this like hot ethereal woman who's like untouchable and like lives in like a little like alien egg.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like high art, like you said, and it's just like incredible. And so I'm listening to this with this insane hype that's like mimics or echoes like the Brat rollout of like in real life promo. Like these insane visuals and this concept that it's like EUSEXUA be in the club. Like I'm ready to like transcend. I'm ready to like hear music that I've never really heard before. And it comes on and I get excited because I hear Perfect Stranger because I'm like, that's my song. I hear Drums of Death. I'm like, that's my song. And it wasn't until Striptease, like maybe 4 or 5 songs down that I was like, okay, I want to save this one. I think I was just a little underwhelmed based off the hype that it was given. And that fucking music video for EUSEXUA Drums of Death.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think it just kind of shows that this was not necessarily her lane.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think what I'll say is like, I mean, I think EUSEXUA was an amazing body of work.
It is incredible.
I think it's great.
It's incredible.
I think for it to be dubbed a club album, no. Mama, no. Because I think Brat in and of itself is the club music. You could play that front to back in a club and people would enjoy it. Yeah. Also, like, breakdown, like, club music needs to be 4 words repeated the entire time.
Twerkulate.
Back to back to back to back to you, back to back, like that.
365, 365.
EUSEXUA, there are songs I've like EUSEXUA, the lead single. I still don't know the words to that song because it's poetry. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful lyricism. Yeah.
But I said this last night and I'll say it again. I think the way that FKA should have rolled this out was not to do the hyper accessibility Charlie XCX, like I'm gonna show up at the Vital Gym in Williamsburg and then post in my story, come to LeBain, and I'm behind the DJ booth the entire night bumping coke, like because that is her vibe. That is, I think, how FKA should have rolled this out is like perform at the Met, perform like in like museums that are like the guest list is like lethal. Like the only way you can see videos of it is through like the grainy servers, like trying to get like a picture. Like it should have been so exclusive because I do just think that's her vibe.
Exactly.
If you're trying to give this like high ethereal alien art.
Exactly.
But it was fun. Because
John's boyfriend, John, and Carlos, like when we came home, like we're saying, because they were in the front when she came out. So like they were like up there.
Yeah.
John was like making a point about how it came off a little pretentious that like she sang her songs and then like went into the crowd like with security and then like took some pictures and then bounced. Whereas like if you're trying to do like an ode to club culture, and she said that, what did she say? She
said that this album celebrates real culture.
No, it's all white people up there. I'm not gonna hold you. And so it just doesn't align, and that's when you end up like not looking good, because I think the whole thing about the club is like the club is like a weird like accessibility game of like you can be nobody and end up in VIP, you can be VIP and have a shit night, and so it's all about just like playing this game of like the social hierarchies. And so when you were trying to do an ode to that, and when you were trying to like acknowledge that, you can't enforce it in that way. You know, that was kind of word salady, but do you know what I'm saying?
That was actually really profound.
Did it make sense?
It made so much sense. Yeah, I feel like it's only because we witnessed it firsthand. Like
and so when Charlie, so like the magic of the club is Charlie XCX texting. You get the access of a text. Everybody got a phone.
Yeah.
You go to LeBain and she's there at the DJ booth. What she stays, she's doing all these things, and we're saying that FKA should not be trying to be Charlie.
No,
that's our problem. Is like FKA is a trained dancer. This bitch is fucking gorgeous. She's a lyricist. So that's what we're saying. She needs to be at the Met. She needs to be with the Solanges, the Kalelas, all these things. And instead she was at the Market Hotel.
And I don't blame her. I blame her label.
Is it the label?
Because, yeah, I feel like labels have such a stronghold on an album cycle.
Okay.
And I think every label now is going to try to repeat what happened with Brad. I
was going to say, when I listen to this album, when I think about the rollout and I think about our like critiques, I wonder what her motive is with this album.
She wants to be famous, I think.
Is she not famous?
She's 2 million monthly. We played this game last night, didn't we?
We played this game. You clocked her bad. I was like, whoa.
We played this game last night. She has 2 million monthly streamers on Spotify, which is good for her.
Yeah.
The people that similarly that have the same number as her.
RuPaul.
Cascada, who has only 2 hits from 20 years ago, has more monthly streamers than FKA Twigs.
Are we sure?
We are. Doesn't Cascada have like 8 million?
Is that Evacuate the Dance Floor?
Yeah. And no, that's Every Time We Touch.
Oh, okay.
Well, Evacuate's the other one, but I feel like Every Time We Touch is like the notable one.
FKA is at 2.8 and the album dropped yesterday. Is it KSK?
CA. Cascada. 8.2. Cascada has 4 times.
Okay, I guess we're just gay because I thought FKA was like A-list.
No, she's so niche.
Miss Twigga. That's my motherfucking Twigga. Okay.
But that's where I'm like, I think she wants to be famous. More famous.
Because also, we gotta talk. We need an episode on gay fame. Because this summer, Charlie XCX single-handedly shattered the line between gay famous and normal famous. Normal famous, gay famous and mainstream famous.
But I think it was just the summer of that. Like Chapel Roan also like kind of shot through the barrier of gay famous to mainstream famous.
Because if you're straight or whatever and you hear Chapel Roan being like, I don't want to be famous. Like Chapel Roan wanted to be gay famous. I think someone tweeted that. I didn't make that up. But Chapel Roan wants to be gay famous. When you're gay famous, there's an intimacy there and there is like a respect thing there. Obviously a lot of disrespect. Yeah. But like mainstream famous requires it's a lot more performative.
But the crazy thing now is, because I would say like that whole like gay fame started way back with like Madonna, like Cher, and then like I think Gaga, it's my heater, and then Gaga really kind of like took that and made that like pretty, I guess like peak.
But the thing is, their goal wasn't to be gay famous.
No, they were just making art and the gays latched onto it. Yes. Which that's how you become gay famous.
Support it and let them thrive. Supported it.
The gays have to just latch onto it. What we're seeing now with pieces of shit body of work like 143 by Katy Perry, people trying to use the gays as a vessel.
Because once corporations and people see a group of people, minorities, whatever, are lucrative and they drive revenue, let me cater to you. Like, it's so
it's
weird.
A woman's world and we're lucky to be living in that.
It's just that, that's how you... We got to do an episode on gay fame.
Yeah, that's a great episode.
Because we got to talk about queer love, sex,
talk about queer
and dating.
It is the Valentine episode.
It is the Valentine's Day episode.
On the curb, that word on the curb. On the curb.
What is love?
What do you know about love? Quickly.
Let me ask
what do you do in love successfully? Quickly.
And when I tell you I am just as like face cracked as Trinity K. Bonet in that moment, I'll be like, girl, okay. When did you come out? You start.
Okay, so my coming out story is kind of interesting. Okay. I mean, I feel like I've like been out since I was pretty much born.
Okay.
I had one crush on a girl when I was in preschool because she was beautiful and blonde and I wanted to be her. I also had an interesting like like maybe thought I was trans when I was a kid.
Interesting.
Because I would always say for my birthday, I'd blow my candle and they go, "What'd you wish for?" "I wish I was a girl." And my parents like looking at each other like, "Oh God." My mom told me she used to give my dad like prep talks for the day that I would come out as transgender.
Okay, well that's so fascinating you say that because I like had a whole like half a year where I was Alex and I was a guy.
Really?
Yes.
When?
And I like wore big shirts and everything. And I think my parents had to have a talk. My mom just told me when I like came out as a lesbian or whatever, she was like, we were like, whatever happens.
Yeah.
So it kind of echoes that.
How old were you?
I was like 10, 9.
Yeah.
So it wasn't baby.
Mine was like probably like 4 to 8.
But yeah, but I was like Alex and like I was tomboy and I was like,
Yeah.
I am a guy.
But I was always into, I was the youngest and I had like an older sister.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like anything she did, I wanted to do. Like I wanted to wear Barbie nightgowns. I wanted to paint my nails. I wanted to wear heels because it was like what she did. And I was always drawn way more to like feminine things.
Yeah. And I had an older brother. And so like, yeah, I wanted to be like him.
I also was like, I feel like young boys, there's like the trope of like the mommy's boy. And I was such a mama's boy and I was afraid of my dad that I think I had like an innate fear of just like masculinity in general. But I would say I came out for the first time when I was 8.
Okay.
Because I was watching The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Oh, girl.
And I had the hots for Dylan Sprouse.
Is that Zach or Cody?
That's Zach. The dumb like.
Oh yeah, hair flip.
The dumb one. Cody was like the smart one, and I didn't like smart boys. I liked dumb boys.
Okay, the trash.
But I remember I was watching it, and I went to my mom after an episode, and I was like, "I don't get it. Like, I have a crush on a boy. Like, what does that mean?" And she was like, "Oh, it means you're gay." And I was like, "Oh." I guess I say that the trans part because I thought to like boys you had to be a girl.
That's what a lot of people say.
When I was like young, and then I learned what being gay was in that moment when because of Dylan Sprouse. And
Shout out.
And then I would say I went back in the closet for pretty much all my tenure of schooling, like middle school, high school, because then you get bullied for being gay.
Oh yeah.
I also I wasn't trade. I was wearing skin tight Hot Topic neon pants and graphic t-shirts every day to school.
Oh my God.
I was getting clocked left and right. I was a clocky bitch. But then I came out officially the day after I graduated high school.
What does that look like? What do you do?
Well, because I moved the day after I graduated high school to Florida.
The day after?
Yeah, girl.
You said I'm out.
My parents.
Kiss.
I got my diploma, and the next morning I was in a car driving to Florida.
We making moves.
We making moves.
And
so I had a couple friends that like in my last days, I remember one of my best friends, Meredith, literally like locked me in her car and she went, "I just gotta ask, are you gay?" And I was like, duh.
Oh my God.
I mean, Mama, I was the lead in every school musical. I was president of the Thespian Society. I was the co-captain of the varsity improv team. Girl.
You were Kurt. What's his last name?
I was Kurt Hummel. And the crazy thing is, when I watch Glee, I used to tell my mom, I want to dress like him.
Girl.
I said,
God.
I want a shawl. I want a beret.
He was so fruity.
So
fast forward, you are now out and you're in the world and you're ready to be gay. How's it been?
Ready to be gay.
Well, like,
girl,
ready
if
to
you
like
stay
act
ready,
on it.
you don't gotta get ready. I mean, I feel like being gay, I could talk circles on this conversation. I think the gay community itself is the best and worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Like, it is. I think you can find such like beautiful communities and like spaces of like true, authentic, unadulterated, unabashed, unconditional love, and you can find the worst fucking people you've ever met in your life. And I think being a young gay man, there's obviously such a hyper fixation on sex that I think kind of all gay men go through.
Yeah.
Where you kind of feel like your body is like your kind of value, and that's like how you get attention, that's like how you make friends. I mean, the trope of like gay friend groups all fucking each other is 100% true.
That guy just tweeted like, don't want to fuck I want hot friends that don't want to fuck me.
Yeah.
And then they said, if you don't want to fuck your friends, why does it matter if they're hot?
Yeah. Dead ass. But but also I come from the very privileged place of I have a boyfriend.
Yes.
And love him very much. His name is also John.
I thought you were gonna say that you're hot. That's why I was rolling my eyes.
Oh, I am hot.
I know. I didn't know where you were going with that.
I don't have to say that.
Oh my god.
People just like yourself are already gonna assume. But I'm not. I mean, this is boyfriend number 4 for me.
Okay.
I was like a serial dater for 2 years. I had 3 boyfriends in 2 years.
Okay. Any of them black? Stop. The viewers want it. Will you actually check if it's recording? Just in case I fucking squeeze.
Listen,
the viewers need to know.
Okay, well, that's a whole other thing. I read the effect of colonialism on black people and the effect of like whitewashed media on like how you deem people attractive. I certainly fell victim to.
The 2010s were low key, like what Mark Twain, I don't know if Mark Twain said this, but like history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. The 2010s were given the 60s. And I'm like, is it because our parents were born in the 60s? But like the white propaganda that ran the 2010s, where it like wasn't giving like civil rights movement, but it just had like how in the 60s, like you couldn't ban black people from restaurants.
Wrong answer.
In the 60s?
That was the 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't ban black people from restaurants in the 60s, but like it's still prevalent. In the 2010s, like you can't call black people the N-word or nothing, but like you might as well.
What?
The way that white people were acting. Girl, like it's like performative. I feel like we grew up in like a performative wokeness era. Which makes me think about how you're like colonialism and like the impact, because like I don't know a black person that like grew up in a white neighborhood or like that like was like, oh, I always wanted to be black. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. So no, I haven't dated a black man yet. I have slept with every race.
Okay, taste the rainbow.
But I will say, the other thing in the gay community is there is a problem with like twincest. Everyone's boyfriend looks like their brother.
What's up with that?
And so that's what I'm doing the Lord's work by actively not dating a man of color like myself. I'm ensuring that the whites gotta separate.
Oh my god!
I'm going in there like fucking, what is it, Noah? Who's the one that parted the Red Seas? I'm parting the White Seas and saying, stop fucking
Moses?
each other. Moses. I am the Moses of the gay community.
Please.
But it's interesting. So yeah, I dated for like 2 years, 3 boyfriends. And then I took a 4-year hiatus. I mean, I would like go on dates. I would like date. But this is my first boyfriend in 4 years. And I'm not going to lie, I do feel better than everyone.
Oh, what do you mean by that? What do you
not mean? Like than the gays. Like than the gay men. I see all the gay men now that are just like
single,
alone, trying to pretend that them bent over getting loaded up is making their life feel worth it.
Oh my god, loaded up like a Chevy before a road trip.
And I'm sitting there cuddling with my boyfriend like, this is nice.
Oh
this
my
is
god.
Nice.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Because okay, the thing that I hear about from gay men is like, which is somewhat the opposite of lesbians, is that like I don't hear of a lot of like serial boyfriend people. I hear a lot of like casual sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I hear that some gay men like stay with me. How like Hormona Lisa is like representing trans women that just that don't want to be cunty, like that don't want to be fashion.
Does she know she's representing that?
She said it. She's like, some of us, like, some trans women like need the boring cat lady or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I have heard gay men be like, it's hard finding love when everyone just wants to like go to a circuit party.
For sure. But I don't believe that everyone just wants to go to a circuit party. I think
it can't be true.
I think it's ingrained that it's like, well, this is what everyone else is doing, and like this is what my community's doing. I do think like they are fun. I've been to some. They can be a great time. I think sometimes it's just a little bit like bleak when you go to
some
them.
things normalized in the gay community, and this is all queer spaces, that is kind of like, wait a minute.
It gives
maybe the straights made a point.
Well, because maybe I'm of the belief that I think everyone wants to be in love. Like, I think everyone wants to experience that.
Okay.
I think if you say you don't want to, unless you're like aromantic,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I don't buy it. If you're like, no, like I
don't need
it's not for me. Like, I'm just like, no, you want to be in love.
Yeah.
And everyone has their own ish they have to like work through to get to a place where they can actually accept it. But I feel like when I go to places like that, like circuit parties, I'm like, stay with me.
Okay.
I'm one of those when I'm like, oh, y'all bitches want to be in love so bad. All y'all bitches want to be in love so bad. Hit those poppers, make your heart go thump thump for the wrong reason.
Filling voids.
Totally filling voids.
Sometimes when you're like, if you're like at like, and I've never, well, I went to Basement Chains and Whips night. What is it?
Bound.
I've been to Basement Bound once, and like I was with my friend and her sex slave, who's a barb. And like sometimes like you're in it and you're having a great time, and then you just kind of like sober up for 1 second, and you're like, sometimes it can get a little grim.
Yeah.
Like, what void are we all filling here?
Well, because I mean, I think like, yeah, it's a part. Like, club culture itself is one thing. Sex club culture, is liberating and fun. People that do it every weekend, I'm like, girl,
It's like,
as long as you're in therapy.
So I think love is magic.
I do think love is magic.
I think no, because listen, I've never even been in love. Or I've never been in
You've never been in requited love.
Unrequited love to me is nothing but a one man cut. Okay, but like seeing, okay, people who've never been in love and like quote unquote don't believe in it, I just don't understand, because when you are adjacent to people in love, like just throughout life, things just happen that would never happen if they like didn't have those chemicals happening in their brain.
Oh yeah.
And like the moments of like romance and love and yearning that I felt, like I have felt off the fucking rails. And it is just like it's nasty. I don't like it. I've experienced it heavily in the past 2 years. Not like love, but just like tension, all these things.
Yeah.
And it sent me reeling.
Yeah, it's like skin crawling. Bugs
It's
all
physical.
over. Bugs all over.
Bugs. And like
not just butterflies in your chest, roaches in
bugs,
your scalp.
Like, roaches on your scalp.
Like it can be so overwhelming.
Roaches on your scalp. Love is for the roaches on your scalp.
But yeah, like it's a chemical. It's overwhelming.
It's a beautiful thing. Because okay, for how bad like love has made me feel, like if you put that on the opposite spectrum of making me feel good, that's what I'm gonna be missing for. Y'all gonna have to find me.
Do you think what do you think your attachment style is? Anxious.
I don't know.
Avoidant.
What is that again?
Anxious is like there's like anxious avoidant. There's like I think healthy.
Not that one. Okay, so essentially,
it's like anxious is the one where like you kind of need a lot of
you latch.
You need a lot of like, what's the word? Not like
validation. Yeah.
Avoidant is the one where like when someone latches to you, you feel overwhelmed and need to create space.
Okay. So I already know that I am avoidant, and then once I get broken down, I am attaching like fucking glue, bitch. And like, even if you are avoidant, you're gonna have to fucking ring me off. Roaches on the scalp.
Roaches on the scalp.
Roaches on the forearm. Because, okay, my psych famously told me, I think it's so funny listening to this. I didn't know that I say famously a lot.
Do you? You're famous in my world.
No. But so I famously went to the psych at 19, and he was like, you haven't dated anybody yet? And I was like, no. And he's like, okay, so you need to date somebody, because if you wait too long, you'll end up in an abusive relationship.
Your psych prescribed you
19.
He prescribed you dick. Well, that's so true though, and that I think is a huge part of like the gay dating cycle or like story. Because especially as queer people, like I mean, imagine like the straight people that you get to like go to sleepovers and talk about the boys they like from the age of like 10.
Yeah,
they kind of like they get to like fumble around at like I would say a younger age.
Like let the pressure out.
Yeah,
let
the pressure out. They get to kind of like make the mistakes that you would normally make at that age anyway.
With innocence, clumsiness.
Where I feel like, yeah, my first boyfriend I had when my first date, I was 18. My first boyfriend, I was 21. Like, yeah. And so, yeah, it's like I would have those like insane, like manic driven.
Yes.
I used to like call my friends in my dorm, like scratching my neck. Like, I'd be like, he sent me this text. What does it mean? Like,
crack rock.
Literally.
Because, you don't let the pressure out. And like, it's weird because so I like came out at 25, 26 because I like discovered I was gay at 25, 26. Like I genuinely don't feel like I was ever holding anything back, which is like I never. So when people are like, you've always been gay, I'm like, yeah, like, and I do think I was, but like when we would talk about boys and stuff at the sleepovers and do all these crushing things, well, I guess until puberty hit. Because I fucking hated talking about boys.
You know what's interesting to me? And let me know if this is like...
wildly offensive?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I feel like in my experience, I'm like, why is it that women always discover they're gay, but men like know they're gay and hide it? Like, I feel like... I always see like men like come out and they're like, I've known this for so long and I've been hiding it. But like all the lesbians I know, it's like, yeah, one day I just was like, wait, fuck, I think I'm gay. And then they just have been gay ever since.
Okay, yes. So there obviously are like lesbians who like were in kindergarten being like,
for sure,
need it. But like, I think... Now stay with me.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
I'm here.
This is fascinating because in therapy, my therapist apparently has been doing research on birth order and like in terms of like gender too. And so how often the firstborn daughter, not necessarily the eldest daughter, whatever, but the firstborn daughter often has to take on like the older sibling position. For example, like me, like I'm the youngest, but I'm definitely more of the older sibling than my brother, and I'm the firstborn daughter. And it's because like as men, y'all pop out and y'all are expected of things like immediately. Like and it's like expected of like future things. Like as a woman, like at least in that era, you didn't like pop out and your parents weren't like, or society wasn't like, you're a woman, you need to be a doctor, you need to go be a lawyer. Our expectations when we popped out was to be nice.
Smile.
Smile. Be nice. Be pretty. All these like tiny little things. These very like passive expectations. It's not like nothing was on offense. Everything was like for us on defense. So it seems a lot less like charged. Whereas when you're a man and like even if you're the youngest too, and it's like you're waiting for that day that like you become a man, you know. I don't know. There's probably also like testosterone shit that has to do with it.
Yeah, and I do think
horniness.
Women, there's like a more inherent sense of like introspection,
and it has to be, it also, I think there has to be something there about like men are supposed to hit on us, and so we're taught to wait and just sit and wait, you know, but men are always taught to go and get it. And so maybe like not feeling like we just have to sit and wait, you don't really like activate. I don't know though, but for me, I just fully didn't know.
Do you believe in bisexuality?
Yes, I do. Let's wake it up though. Honestly.